Good morning, good morning. A quick one here. Good morning, quick one here from your friend, brother Paul Zondo. A good one here from those of you who are still in bed or waking up in Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain, all parts of Europe, Canada, US. Those are up over the Middle East, Africa, Canada, everywhere. Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. How to reduce crime amongst our youth. How to reduce crime amongst our youth. How to reduce crime amongst our youth. Okay, first thing here that I've observed when I have from my prison diary, what I've observed is that kids that were actively involved in some kind of spiritual activity in a positive way had very low or no incidents of going to jail. And I'll say that again. Kids, children, juvenile, young people that were actively involved in some form of religious activity in a positive way had very low or minimal incidents of violation of law. Why is that? Because when you are involved in such an environment, one, religious activity, I'm not advocating religiosity, but what I observe, this is completely my observation while I work in prisons, is that it gives something as a purpose. You see, it is more likely to get in trouble when you don't have a life with purpose. When you're just living for the minute. Someone can tell you, say, hey, let's go to California and beat 4 people up, and you get on your way. Hey, let's go and rob the bank. You get on your way. Hey, let's go and make fun of this person. You get on your way. Oh, let's go break into the car. You get on your way. A life without purpose. So what religiosity, or what religion does, or what spirituality does, it helps to give the human mind a sense of purpose, a sense of higher calling, sense of higher belonging, a sense of higher accountability. So in cases where some kids don't have the parents active in their lives, in cases where some of the parents are no longer living, in cases where some of the parents are adopted or some kind of a dysfunction at home, spirituality has a way of filling in. Okay? So in this, you have like some good deacons, some good deaconesses, some good old pastor, reverend mother, reverend father, and I know everyone have their own meaning to what those mean and so forth. But they serve in a way to give you a sense of balance, sense of purpose. There were some times in my life where I was lost. And it was a spiritual person who kind of gave me an ultimatum in a way and said, do this, or, in a way it was a housing situation, and it was the best decision I made. So sometimes these people help to redirect you, sometimes in the absence of your parents or guardians. So spiritual activity in a positive way can minimize juvenile delinquency, can minimize the incidence of crime. They can help to hold you accountable. So in my years, about 8 years in working in many jails and prisons and so forth, kids who were actively involved in some spiritual activity in a positive way, I really don't record them. So spirituality, what it gives you a sense of purpose. Like I said, it gives you a sense of purpose. Something that you love. You will think twice if someone punches you and you say, you know what, I'm going to pray about it. It's going to sound dumb, right? Punches you in the jaw. You know what, I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to think about it. What would, if you're a Christian, you say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? Okay, I'm not saying someone, point gun in your face, saying and be asking, but you can run, but the point is that it gives you a second thought, a step back. Okay. And the last thing I want to say about the importance of spirituality for young people is that not everything in this world is physical. Not everything you see is physical. You see, there are some times in life wherein you're stuck. The money cannot solve the problem. Woman cannot solve the problem. Man cannot solve the problem. Kids cannot solve the problem. Job cannot solve the problem. Society, government, everything else cannot solve the problem. And then you need to find a solution. That's where spirituality comes in. Spirituality does not give all the answers, but it tells you that you can leave certain things with a higher being, higher deity. And that is so comforting, so assuring that you cannot answer or understand everything that goes on in this world. But some things you can say, God understands. That's why I'm encouraging you to always find some kind of a minimum, small, put some effort in the spiritual well-being of your kids, of this generation. It helps because when I worked in prison, when I worked in jails, prison, I was surprised how many churches came in to evangelize to those who were already incarcerated. I saw I don't want to call them, but I saw the witnesses, the Baptists, the Lutherans, the Christians, the Muslims, and everybody came. And I started asking myself in my diary, what if these people had taken their spirituality serious before coming in here? Okay, what if they are taking this thing serious before coming in here? Okay, so why wait? Take it serious. Spirituality is part of life. Except that there are some things we will never understand with our rational brain. But we can always leave that to someone who knows best and someone who knows it all. You can call him God, whatever you call him, that's fine. But always remember that my observation in my prison diary was that those who had a positive religious activities regularly, juveniles or even young adults, had very little or no incidents with infractions, delinquency, breaking the law, and so forth, because they have a lot of support system. They were mostly in a positive group. They got this Friday prayer or Bible studies on Wednesday, praise and worship practice, evening prayer, you name it. All of these help to shape you to minimize the incidents of getting in trouble. So the bottom line is, don't wait to go to jail before you start finding God. Find God on the outside. Because there are some things, people get in trouble. Do you know people have been lied on and go to jail? People get lied on. What do you do if everybody believes you're guilty and you know you're not guilty? The only person you can look up to is God. Someone who knows more better than everybody else. Okay? So take that aspect seriously and get involved in some kind of a positive spiritual experience. Because sometimes in life, maybe not in jail, but sometimes in life there are sometimes some things you don't understand and you can only pray about it. Pray about it. Reflect. Meditate. Sit quietly. Think. And sometimes you may find the answer. And in the process, it may slow you down your reaction time. That reaction that could have landed you 40 years behind bars. That reaction that could have landed you 50 years. That reaction that could have even taken away your life. Just reflecting and having that spiritual dynamic, spiritual aspect of your life can save you time and save others pain and suffering. We are on the subject, how to reduce criminality amongst our youth. How to reduce the incidents of breaking the laws among our youth. Thank you. I'll come back. This was just a quick Sunday morning tip. This came to mind. Just saw this in my diary, and I thought I'd share that. This might help somebody. Share with somebody. This might help somebody. This might save a life. This might help the kids, help you to say, you know what? We're taking this religious stuff seriously. And like I said, it doesn't have to be any faith group. It's just helping that child to know that there's something more, something bigger, someone bigger. How do you explain to a child who was called monkey throughout in class? And that child punches back and become a violent offender. And that stays in that child's record all. But if that child gets to know that, you know what? After all, you are not a
a monkey. You are beautiful, created in the image of a higher being. That kid will start to reflect in the way they respond to someone who's calling them monkey. But if they don't have the spiritual backup, this perspective, they can launch out and they will be right because they have no other tool, other resources to understand that they are not what people say they are. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.